Everybody needs something to work towards to make them better, and our targets are what we need to work towards.
Targets and pupil data play an important role in the personalised learning programme at Hexthorpe Primary School in Doncaster. Staff meet regularly to discuss a variety of pupil data.
I mean, as you know, we've just completed the mid-year assessments. I've been back to every year group and had a discussion with them about standards and variations, and we've looked at different groups, and everyone has given me some documentation which sort of outlines where we are. So perhaps we could look at the documentation from your year group and the data. Was that okay?
Yeah. The assessment team meet together to analyse standards across the whole of the school to monitor that data is being used very, very successfully to inform classroom practice and to raise attainment in the classroom.
Right, OK, so if we look at our whole school tracking documentation here, so we've highlighted in green the children who have made progress, and we've highlighted in red the children who have stayed the same or actually gone back a level. So when we tracked back, we actually noticed that this person here was 1 point within the 4B, whereas over here it was 1 point away from getting a 4A.
Yeah.
But what we're doing, we're using this information now to target the lower ability age range and planning accordingly within the classroom.
We have a very comprehensive picture of the whole child, and that picture is made up of lots and lots of different kinds of data sets. Not least, it's about observation, it's about discussion. You know, we're looking at children's attitudes towards learning, discussion with other teachers, the results from prior tests and things. And all this data helps us to build up a very broad and wide picture of a child.
Year 2 pupils use simple self-assessment techniques to help define their own personalised learning targets.
Now, who could tell me what their target is? Oh, look at all them hands up. James, can you remember what your target is?
Just partition 2 and 3-digit numbers correctly.
Good boy. Now then, what I want you to do is I'm going to ask you to be teachers. Now, can you remember when I stick those smiley faces into your book? What do we do if we're marking our work, Emily?
We colour in the faces.
We colour in the faces. Now, what we're going to do today is you're going to have a look in your book. And if you think you've got the strategy from yesterday, if you think, Miss Denton, I can do this strategy, I can partition those numbers and add them up together, then I want you to give yourself a green smiley face. If you think to yourself, I got some of them, but I'm a little bit stuck, I think I still need a bit more help. Tom?
The middle.
The middle face. Which face are you going to give me if you think, Miss Denton, I'm really stuck, I really need some more help, Layla?
The red face.
The red face. OK, so first job, you're going to mark your work.
You've been told to look at your maths from yesterday, and then if you've got all of them correct, you get a green face. If you've got some of them wrong, then you need a little bit more practice. An amber. If you've got nothing, no clue, a red face.
We got them all right. Yeah.
Because all of them are on that page.
Because we've been helping each other.
Well done.
Yeah, we've been working as a team.
Rather than me taking the books home and marking them, the children actually tell me how they're feeling. So what you've just seen them do is some of the children have given me an amber face, some of them have given a green face from yesterday from doing the addition. So now straight away, before we go into our main activities, I can regroup my children. I can put the children that were thinking, oh, I'm on a bit of an amber, I'm not quite there yet. I know that they're the children that I need to direct my support to. Right, I'd like to explain this some. So what did you have to do?
You have to get to 52. So 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then each 50.
So you had to partition those numbers. So tell Ben, 52, how many tens are there?
How many tens are there, Ben?
I think you might know, Ben. How many tens are there in 52? 5. And 5 tens are? Good boy. What I've planned for the week might actually change according to what the children are telling me that they can do. If they're saying to me, I'm really struggling with addition, I'm using this data to change my planning and saying, OK, we're not going to move on to subtraction this week, we're going to carry on because they're telling me they're struggling with this strategy. It's also feeding into my summative data because, again, the children are telling me what they can't, what they can do, whether they think they've achieved their target, and we use that at the end of the term just to inform our planning.
Think formal writing.
Informal data collected in class is analysed alongside pupils' test results by teachers and support staff from each year group at weekly meetings.
We're midway through the year, so we need to have a look and see if we're on target for the end of the year. Debbie, can you just summarise where we are in terms of attainment at the moment?
Attainment math, we're doing quite well at the moment, but there is one or two children on the borderline of level 3, level 4, and one of the areas that I've noticed is they're making very simple mistakes with the data handling. So I think we need just a little bit of a intervention with a small group on data handling.
So to reinforce mental calculations?
Yes.
The team meeting that we do every week is to collect a variety of data from different sources. It's to gather information from the support staff, from observations, from small group work, from guided reading groups, from intervention strategies that they've been involved in over the period of the week to inform our practice.
Data is typically used to identify pupils who may not be achieving their potential. At Hexthorpe, data is also used to push higher achieving pupils.
Let's have a look at a couple of children at the higher end of the spectrum that don't seem to be moving. We've got one or two, haven't we, are just sort of making steady progress as such.
He's done very well, and he has a very good style of writing. But I feel that there's still some more to give. Do you know what I mean? With these, especially with the sentences, to be more descriptive or to more complex sentences. So I think with some of the higher ability children, looking at complex sentences would be a way forward.
Maybe we can look at more guided writing for that higher ability group.
I'm very much aware of the fact that there could be sensitivities associated with this process. Some teachers may well think this information, this data is being used against them. And I think that it takes some time. You know, you have to build trust in a school community, and you have to develop positive relationships, and you have to get teachers to see that it is a constructive process. It's not getting at the individual teacher, it's supporting a teacher, it's helping a teacher. And most important, of course, it's ensuring you have good standards in school.
I'll take them away and we'll have a look at their test papers and look where their faults, where their mistakes have been made, and put together a package where they need their extra support. So from what we found out about the pupils, we will put a target statement together for each child, and then we'll develop intervention that will support them. They'll be the ones who've actually looked at their work and seen where their intervention is needed.
Small group intervention work is directly related to the targets which the staff meetings have decided using the data.
We're going to go through each one of the questions in turn, see whether you got them correct, and if you didn't get them correct, where you made your mistakes. Was it a calculation error? Did you read the question incorrectly? These are the reasons we're looking for, because when it comes to the target box, what we will do is we will go down all the questions, see the reasons why you've lost the mark, and then we will put into place something we can do to support you when we come to doing these types of questions again. With the testing that we've done, we've got a set of summative data, but that summative data is only a base then, so that we can help the children, give them personal targets, and then we can use that formative data to help the children improve. So where have you made your mistake with that?
I put 5 instead of 4 because it was only 4.
So you made a mistake with your
Addition.
Next time, what would you do so that you don't lose the marks?
Put the answers down beside, like how many chose different animals.
Okay, brilliant.
It's sort of competition with yourself to see how good you can be.
For the targets, I'd say that they're really good because it can help you learn and go back to what you've made mistakes on and improve on it.
Feedback from pupils themselves is seen as vital in the process of collecting data.
Our consultation with pupils and our discussions with pupils, our questionnaires with pupils, also is very, very important data in how we mould and how we alter and shape the curriculum to meet the needs of our pupils. And really, they're the best informers of our practice. You did this writing piece of work, and so now what we're going to do, we're going to go through it really, really carefully, and we're going to see what you have achieved, and out of that, what we're going to do.
I'm going to set targets so that I know what I have to work to in my next writing assessment.
All right then, first of all, and we'll look at your last targets that followed you through. Can you remember what they were?
When describing the events, try to describe the scene as well as the people, and don't use slang, and non-fiction needed more fact as well as opinion.
So often it's easy to use a lot of support in school to target the less able, and our tracking shows that, in a sense, if you do that, the more able pupils tend to stagger and not make as much progress. And data's been really important in that we're looking more specifically at their targets and make them more challenging. Looking through there, do you feel now that you're using a much more formal style of language?
Yeah.
So that's a target that you've got there, haven't you? So Emily, what we're going to do next is we're going to share these targets with Mum so that you can carry on if you wanted to do extra work at home or use the computer, that you know what targets you're working on. As you know, we have these meetings 3 times every year for every parent in school, just to review progress and make sure that things are on track, so that we can discuss any targets that Emily's got, and so that if you want to help her at home, you can do it in different ways. But how do you feel it's going this year?
I like swapping from maths and going into a different class so that we do a bit harder work, a bit more challenging, and all the work's a bit more challenging this year than it was last year.
Looking at our target setting system, that's one thing that we've tried to accommodate, that she is very able, and we've got other children that are very able, so we've managed to adjust our planning accordingly and to meet the needs, and she's working at quite a high level.
The fact that there's a tracking system in place really does give you confidence in school. I feel that if suddenly Emily did start to decline, there are strategies in place to correct that quite quickly, so I think that's excellent.
I know what I have to do to make my writing and my maths and all my subjects a lot better, and it helps me so that I know what I have to do in my SATs and in all my other lessons, so that I don't just keep working at the same level.
I don't think we could have a personalised learning programme for children without the data. It's a sort of like the building block, the foundation for everything else. But the data's just not an end in itself, you know. It's what it's telling us about children and about what the children need to be doing to move on.